Hey there, Holly Near here. We're trying to keep the music alive and well, even while our nation is suffering from the pandemic, but also from political chaos. So I'm really glad that the musicians are out there still making music, still finding ways to connect up people in community. It's been really hard on the artists. All those tours that never happened, all those musicians that didn't get paid, all those venues that had to close, and certainly the Woodstock Folk Festival is taking its hit. So I'm very glad to be here to share with you some songs. These songs were taken from a concert I did at the Freight and Salvage in Berkeley, California. And I want to tell you about a few of the songs because I'm not able to get together with my band and record live material right now for you. But one of the songs is called Fired Up. And I think that that's really appropriate right now, that we need to get fired up, that we need to see this as a window of opportunity for real profound change in our nation. Being led by Black Lives Matter and really seeing the subject of racism getting put on the table. And this song I wrote a while ago, not for Trump, but for other leaders that came and went. And I hope it can inspire you to work really hard from local elections all the way through and up to the presidency, that vote the whole ballot, especially those judges. They're the ones that decide whether our kids are going to get help or if they're going to be put in jail. So there's all sorts of reasons to become involved this next, probably the most important election of my lifetime. And so, and that's saying a lot because I'm 71, so I've seen a lot of elections. Fired up. Yes, let's get fired up.
Fired up, ain't gonna take it no more. Tied up, ain't gonna take it no more. You say cool down, we say step down. You're breaking my mother's heart. Fired up, ain't gonna take it no more. We're tied up, ain't gonna take it no more. You say cool down, we say step down. You're breaking my mother's heart, breaking my mother's heart. Children need schools more than they need jails, and that's where our society fails. First 7 years creates a child's foundation, mandatory for a healthy nation. So we're fired up, ain't gonna take it no more. We're tied up, ain't gonna take it no more. You say cool down, we say step down. You're breaking my mother's heart. How could we forget that the children come first? We left them alone and they died of thirst. Mothers and fathers confused and forlorn. And when the children are missing, well, there's something wrong. Can't you
There's a song called Send in the Thousand Grandmothers that I like. It's a fantasy song in some ways. In others, it's very realistic. So when listening to it, my head kind of goes in and out of magic and reality. The whole idea of what if we just sent 1,000 grandmothers to any given place of struggle and conflict just to see what would happen.
Why don't we send in 1,000 grandmothers? They would surely volunteer. With their ancient wisdom flowing, they would lend a loving ear. They would lend a loving ear. First they'll form a loving circle around the wounded wing and contain the brutal beasts of war. Sweet freedom songs they'll sing. Sweet freedom songs they'll sing. A lullaby much stronger than bombs and threats to kill. A force unlike we've ever known will break the murderer's will. Break the murderer's will. To the prisons we'll invite them. Most violent souls will weep when 1,000 women hold them strong and pray their souls to keep, and pray their souls to keep. Let them rock the few who steal the most and rule with a youthful charm, so they'll see the damage that they do and they'll fall into grandma's arms, 2,000 loving arms. If you think these women are too soft to face the world at hand, then you've never known the power of love and you fail to understand. An old woman holds a powerful force when she no longer needs to please. She can cut your shallow life to bits and bring you to your knees. We best get down on our knees and pray for 1,000 grandmothers. Will you please come volunteer? No longer tucked deep out of sight. Will you bring your power here? Will you bring your power here?
I wrote a song called Somebody's Jail, which is kind of my investigation as a writer, as a political thinker, as a feminist, as to what in fact does the most contemporary, the most honest interpretation of feminism, what does that look like? And it's way bigger than the right to vote, although that certainly is huge. But it's also about all the different things in our lives that affect women, from class and race and children and environment. And people might say, well, it affects all human beings. Well, of course it does. But there is something about the women that in cultures for thousands of years have been handed the responsibility of keeping culture together and keeping the families, the communities fed. And what happens when you have societies that disrespect women, kill women, throw them in jail, traffic them, take away their right to decide what to do with their bodies? When that happens, when a society deteriorates to the point where they take away power from women, then the society really has no hope, has no possibility of pulling itself back together. So this song is called Somebody's Jail.
just walking along, shopping for food, stepping out of the line of fire when people are rude. Cheap stuff made in China, someone calls it a sale. Somebody's mama, somebody's daughter, somebody's jail. Beat down in the market, stoned to death in the plaza, raped on the hillside under the gun from LA to Gaza. A house made of cardboard, living close to the rail. Somebody's mama, somebody's daughter, somebody's jail. And I feel the witch in my vein, I feel the mother in my shoe, I feel the scream in my soul, the blood as I sing the ancient blue. They burned in the millions, I still smell the fire in my grandma's hair. The war against women rages on, beware of the fairy tale. Somebody's mama, somebody's daughter, somebody's jail. The noise of elections, that promise of change, the grabbing of power at the top, a day at the rifle range. Somebody's in danger, somebody's for sale. Somebody's mama, somebody's daughter, somebody's jail. And I feel the witch in my vein, I feel the mother in my shoe, I feel the scream in my soul, the blood as I sing the ancient blue. They burned in the millions, I still smell the fire in my grandma's hair. The war against women rages on, beware of the fairy tale. Somebody's mama, somebody's daughter, somebody's jail. It isn't a country, it's not on the map, the weight of the world on somebody's back. It's the clothes that I wear, the food that I eat, the women and the children living out on the street. It's the war at the border, the refugee camp, the child bride doomed to walk the ramp. It's the boot in the stomach, the slap in the face, the death that is handed out simply by race. Rape by the soldiers, abduction of sons, it's a nuclear threat, the fascination with guns. Looks at the office, the danger at night, the one you call darling coming home for a fight. It's the AIDS with no borders, the African teen, the women all over simply going unseen. It's the arrogant posture, the man on the moon, the dying of need before the promise of soon. It's the millions who go without food and water. It's somebody's mama, it's somebody's daughter. And I feel the witch in my vein, I feel the mother in my shoe, I feel the scream in my soul, the blood as I sing the ancient blue. They burned in the millions, I still smell the fire in my grandma's hair. The war against women rages on, beware of the fairy tale. Somebody's mama, somebody's daughter, somebody's jail. Somebody's mama, somebody's daughter, somebody's jail. Somebody's mama, somebody's daughter, somebody's jail.
I wrote a song called I Ain't Afraid, which speaks about the ways in which organized religions can get out of control And I'm not speaking about religions that are there that really serve the people and serve the community and serve the spiritual well-being of people, but I'm talking about when a power structure moves in, money is raised in the various church services, guilt is laid upon the participants in the religion, and then terrible things are done in the name of that religion, in the name of God, in the name of Allah, in the name of Yahweh, in the name of Jesus. Then that's when a religion loses its spirit. It's called I Ain't Afraid.
I ain't afraid of your Yahweh. I ain't afraid of your Allah. I ain't afraid of your Jesus. I'm afraid of what you do in the name of your God. And I ain't afraid of your churches. I ain't afraid of your temples. I ain't afraid of your praying. I'm afraid of what you do in the name of your God. Can we rise up, find a higher power, free up from fear and will devour you? Watch out for the ego of the hour. The ones who say they know it are the ones who will impose it on you. I ain't afraid of your Yahweh. I ain't afraid of your Allah. I ain't afraid of your Jesus. I'm afraid of what you do